Okay, so welcome to Whyville. My name's Gina Jean. My Whyville username is UTBGJ, and Whyville is a popular virtual community that was created for kids aged 8 to 15, geared mostly toward the younger ages in that spectrum. There's a language filter installed, and it contains a safety orientation that's required to be completed before kids can earn their chat licenses. So chat logs are reviewed by the site reviewers. These are called city workers. I go ahead and click on the map here, which will bring up the map for the Whyville area, and you'll see there's some beaches. There's a mall that students can also go into. That's a popular area for the kids. Fit Zone, Dr. Layla's house. The area that I'm going to focus on is WASA, and WASA is Whyville's Aeronautics and Space Administration. Click on that and it will take me to WASA, and we'll see the buses out front and my avatar arrives. So there are four main areas to WASA. There's the SIRTF rocket launch site, the SIRTF zero gravity site, the spectroscopy lab, and the ion engine office. So first area that we're going to enter is the ion engine lab, and so I'm going to double click here, and that will bring me into the lab. Alright, this area has three main things that I could do. We're going to start with the tutorial, which I click on the laptop here. Then I can go in here and play hotspots. And then over here I will go in and be able to design my own ion engine. Let's start with the tutorial. And the tutorial is nice because it gives the necessary information to the students on how to play the game. Not just how to play the game, but the necessary information on the components of the game. So we're in the ion lab, so it's going to talk a lot about positive and negative electronic charges. You go through, read through the tutorial, and when we click launch, we see it is releasing these charges. Click launch here, and what this one is wanting me to do is adjust the different charges to where they interact with one another and see how they bounce off of each other and how they're attracted. So keep going through, and we're essentially doing the same thing, adjusting the charges, trying to get them so that they interact with one another. Alright, now I can adjust the strength, which adjusts the size of the charge. Click launch. You can see how it pulls that opposite charge towards, and you just continue to play the game back and forth. So the next thing that we're going to take a look at will be hotspots. Click here, and hotspots wants me to don a helmet, and then what happens is it releases a puck, and the puck is supposed to bounce off the helmet into one of the goals over here. Alright, we'll return to the engine office. And the third area is the engine simulator, and this one's a little more fun. What you're doing here is it provides some directions down here, but essentially you're adjusting your plate slider to separate the different plates from one another, and then a charge slider to adjust the charge strength on each plate. And then you launch and watch your ions get accelerated by the engine and see how far your engine is actually propelled. So what we will do is adjust our charge here. We want a fairly large charge. Launch. Notice the fuel and the energy here. And then up here at the top you'll see how far your propulsion is. Alright, so it's starting to go a little bit further. Alright, my fuel and energy have stopped, so I'll click stop here and I will see I only went 15. Separate the plates out a little bit, and again we're looking for how many of these are interacting with our various charges. We see how far we're being propelled, which will get us a specific amount of points. And then we click stop because we're out of fuel. 172 points gets me a gold medal, so yay me. Alright, so we're going to go back to the Ion office, and that's pretty much everything here. So we will return to the WASA lobby. The WASA lobby is manned by the security officer who gives me my security clearance, tells me where I am allowed to go, and also provides me with security codes. So he will give me a security code that I will take with me to the elevator, and I will have to key in based on where I would like to go. Alright, so he's checking my clearance level. I've been given a notebook. I'm cleared for training. And then he will give me my codes. So zero gravity code is 6675. So I'm going to go to the elevator. And once I arrive, I will type in 6675. So I have to click on myself, 6675, hit enter. And that brings me into the zero gravity game, which essentially you're just batting around trying to float around. We'll go and we've got some other areas that we want to return to the lobby, where we are greeted again by our security guard. He's checking my clearance again. He's going to assign me my notebook, give me my next set of codes. These codes do change. So we're going to go to rocket design. It's 7808. So we'll go into the elevator. Once I arrive, I'll type in my code. Again, I have to click on myself in order to activate that. So 7808. And here we are with our lady scientist that tells me where I'm at as far as being able to create my own rocket. So I'm on level 6. Some of the things that are necessary on this level are you have to purchase things such as oxygen canisters up here. And then down here you can look at tips and lists of the top rocket scientists, which is also on the board back here. But to play the game actually and go in and design your own rocket, you click on the computer screen. And the goal here is we're designing a rocket that will meet up with the space station. And so you first decide the type of rocket that you want. I'm going to select a space station. So I'm going to make a space shuttle. And then you're adjusting your fuel. So as I adjust my fuel levels here, and then the nozzle size, and the amount of oxygen, the goal is to try to meet the space station. So if I click launch, my rocket gets launched. It didn't have quite enough to even get there, so we see the space station go on by. So I can try again, maybe a little more fuel, launch. Oh, looks like it's going to be too fast. So didn't quite meet up with expectations there as well. We'll make one adjustment and see if that helps. Doesn't look like it's even gonna make it. Nope, just barely short. So you're adjusting your fuel volume, nozzle size, and oxygen, and you get to see your altitude, velocity, and acceleration as you make those adjustments down here. So I'm going to return to the lobby. And once I reach the lobby, I'll be again greeted by my security guard. and then he will give me my codes for accessing the areas that I would like to access. And so the next thing, he'll give me my codes. We're going to go to the spectroscopy lab. We're going to go to the spectroscopy lab, and that is the code 3204. So we're going to click on elevator. I need to enter my code. So Doris will give us some lessons on multi-wavelength astronomy. So I can click here and learn about infrared radiation. And this actually takes me to NASA's site. So there's a lot of classroom activities based on grade level that I can go through here. I'm going to go back. And this site has a lot more interactivity than the other sites we visited. Up here, I can click to find out exactly what is spectroscopy and why all the rainbows. So it gives me links that I can click on and watch some videos to test my knowledge there. I'm going to go back. Over here to the far left, I can learn about multi-wavelength astronomy. And then the one main thing that I think a lot of the kids would be enjoying most on this site is the Spectrum game. And this game gives you 5 questions and asks you to answer them. And it's going to show some different wavelengths at the top where I'm going to be expected to click and find out where things are. Alright, so I click the message. Here's all the different wavelengths that are available to me. So it wants to know which part of the spectrum is responsible for giving you a sunburn. So click on that and we can go back to our spectrum game. The Star Factory allows us to create earthly objects. So there's a lot of things that you can go in and play different games. You can play to create coal. So what you're doing is you're trying to gather the particles as the stars explode to create coal. You're gathering the carbon. I'm going to go back to the Star Factory here. Once I make my coal, then I can create an iron dumbbell, a gold bar, ice cream, bones, etc. I'm going to go back to the lab. So here I'm going to go in. What's really nice about this part of the site is it's giving me a lot of really useful information on exactly how to build my own spectrometer. And that allows you to see exactly what things are made out of. Go back to the lab. And that concludes our tour. So I will return to the map. Again, WASA is essentially Whyville's take on NASA. And it gives the students or the viewer interactive abilities on learning about space and traveling to space and colors and particles and what things are made out of. So come tour these on your own, play some interesting games, and learn a little bit more about WASA.